All right, and welcome. So to begin with, we're going to talk about adding integers together. This may be a word you're unfamiliar with, so let's review what an integer is first. An integer is just a word that means any positive or negative number. On a number line, like the one we see right here, positive numbers are always to the right of 0. So if here's 0 on our number line, all these numbers to the right are going to be positive. And you can see that our number line could keep going on and on and on and on and on forever, and you would just keep adding your positive numbers to it. Negative numbers are always to the left of 0. So going in this direction, and you can keep going on and on forever, you would get your negative numbers. So a number line should always be set up this way so you can easily find your positive and negative numbers. The opposite of any negative number is positive, and the opposite of any positive number is negative. So we've got a couple little examples down here. The opposite of the opposite of positive 2 would be negative 2, and the opposite of negative 6 would be 6. Some common words that mean positive, like if you're reading a word problem, so a gain, especially talking about money, if something rose, like sea level rose or the temperature rose, those are positive. If you earned something, if you saved something, if something went up, if you got something, or if something increased. Those are all words that mean positive. Some words that mean negative would be a loss, below, so if something drops below sea level, a drop, or if something dropped, like temperature dropped, if something went down, if something decreased, or if you are in a debt. All right, so getting into adding integers. So adding integers with like signs. Like just means the same. So if you're adding two positive numbers or you're adding two negative numbers. Most people are probably pretty familiar with adding two positive numbers. But adding two negative numbers might be new. Well, the rule for any problem such as this is just to add your numbers and keep whatever sign they have. So for example, we have, of course, 3 plus 3. Those are like. They have the same sign, which is positive. So the answer would just be 6, a positive 6. Down here, we have a negative 5 plus a negative 8. So I'm just going to add my 5 and 8 to get 13. And my answer is going to be negative. Over here we have a positive 54 and a positive 98. So it would be a positive 152. And down here we have negative 41 and negative 49, or negative 59. So my answer would be a negative 100. It seems pretty simple, right? Okay. I need to clear my ink. All right, so moving forward, what about adding integers with unlike signs? So unlike means different, so we will be adding positive numbers to negative numbers. In cases such as this, you will subtract, and you're just going to keep the sign of the biggest number. Here's a few examples we're going to go through. So 9 plus negative 6. To do a problem such as this, we're just going to subtract 6 from 9. So 6 minus 9 would be 3. All right. Now, which of my two numbers has the largest value? Positive 9 will. So that means my answer here is going to be a positive 3. All right, over here, we've got 32 plus negative 83. So to do a problem such as this, I would subtract 32 from 83. If I were to do that correctly, I would get 51. Now, which of my two numbers has the larger value? Negative 83 does. Therefore, my answer has to be negative. I have many more negatives than I have positives. All right, down here with negative 5 plus 8. Again, we just subtract 5 from 8, and we get 3. So which of my numbers has the greater value? Positive 8. I have more positives than negatives, therefore my answer will be positive. Finally, over here, we have negative 21 plus 7. So I would just subtract 7 from 21 to get 14. Now my negative 21 has a greater value than my positive 7. There are more negatives than there are positives. Therefore, my answer will be negative. Okay, thank you for joining me, and that is adding integers.